Morning, everyone. Dave from South Hill Farm. I hope everyone is doing well this morning. Today is a very special day because it is the eve of the American inauguration. Apparently, this is the 45th president that will be inaugurated and become president of the most powerful nation in the world. And here in Canada, we have been observing with on pins and needles this past election year, which in my memory has been the most eventful election year that I can remember. I also went back to look at some of the previous debates that happened, whether especially through Jimmy Carter, which in my opinion was probably the most intelligent president that the United States has had in my generation. Of course, I remember Ronald Reagan, who I did not agree with any of his policies. George Bush, who was I would say uneventful except for the Gulf War. And President Clinton, who, in my opinion, had accomplished the most out of all the presidents within my generation. Problem being is that he had personal issues which he could not overcome, and I certainly won't repeat those. And then we had George Bush Jr., who had a very difficult presidency, and Obama, who had inherited the challenges and the difficulties from the previous administration. So whether Democrat or Republican, it's no different for me. But I'd have to say that each successive president, there is one thing that I've noticed that everyone expects them to do better or to repair something from the past, except for President Clinton. He's the only one in this modern generation that was not overtaken because of economic issues or social issues. It was because of his indiscretions. And the media played on his indiscretion. But as far as accomplishment is concerned, I'd have to give him probably the greatest credit. You know, all presidents have tried their best to accomplish something for the great country of America. And my brothers to the south, I would have to say that your new president, President Donald Trump, will be no different. He speaks the way many of us think. I don't agree with all of his policies, and I know you're going to have a lot of challenges ahead. And as a Canadian, we are the ones that try not to follow in some of the decisions that you make. But at the same time, since we're the cousin that gets dragged along, quite often we are dragged along in those circumstances. Being a sovereign country, there's many times that we've said no, thank you to the big American fish, or I should say whale. But you know, we are grateful for having America as our brother to the south, and we want to hope and pray for the best for your new administration coming in. He is truly a rogue president, and you know, his famous quote of draining the swamp will probably be a good thing, but it will be tremendously challenging for you. And you'll have the usual honeymoon that comes with having a new president, a new leader. But I'd have to say, based on the conditions that are being handed over to him, he's got more challenges than the past three presidents have had. And it will be a real tough ride. And it may be that by the grace of God, that president was placed in that position for a reason, because as many have said, and trust me, as in our country, it's no different. That the American people have been trained and taught to live off the future rather than purchasing in the present and living in the present, and it will cause huge damage when there is no road left and the cliff comes about, and the cliff is there. It's just a slow drag downhill, which many have predicted would be a quick drop off the cliff, but that hasn't happened yet. And I'm pretty sure many of you understand what I'm talking about, meaning the financial circumstances of the country, as well as the financial circumstances of many of the great people of the United States. One thing that comes to mind that has puzzled me and has really been brought to the surface so much in this past election is how should I say it? The bias of the media. The bias of the media has been overwhelming, and they certainly have shown their cards. They are now, I would say, as transparent as they can be, meaning, and not in a good way, meaning that they're extremely dishonest. That's one thing that President Trump is very truthful about. The press is extremely dishonest in the United States, and they're extremely argumentative. So we've basically had, since I've been watching the news, or since the news has become a popular television media event where they have these different journalistic shows, since I would say probably the mid-90s, we've noticed the argumentative nature of American television increasing at a dramatic pace, where now that if they do not instill an argument, it doesn't become a television event, or it doesn't become a television show. So this type of argumentative narrative that has been adopted by American TV is extremely damaging. I think it's damaging to my American brothers. I think it's damaging to the way the people, obviously the way the people think, which I'm talking about damage, but the American people recognize this, and I certainly recognize this as well. I can't say it's near as bad here in Canada. We don't have that kind of argumentative tone to everything when we discuss things back and forth, and I'm very, very grateful for that. But my American brothers are different in that respect, and I'd have to say that it's kind of embarrassing. So I love you guys. I'm praying for you guys. I want the best for you, and I'm hoping and praying that your president and his administration will do a great job for you, because again, I'm a beneficiary of American success. So I just wanted to give you a pat on the back. Again, I'm neutral. I'm not Democratic or Republican, but it's obviously about the press, the free press that you have, which is, I would have to say, no longer free, because it's been overtaken by a bias, and it's no longer reporting, and it's no longer suggestive questioning. It's actually provocation, which is extremely dangerous. And I just wanted you to take that to heart. Take it to the leaders that you have, and the press has to be put in its place, and that is not taking away the rights of the free press. That is holding them to the standard that they are obligated to be held to, which they're not being held to right now. And I just hope that the few people that watch my YouTube channel will take this to heart and just say, we love you down there in the South, and you're a great country, great people. You want the best for one another. I can tell by the passion that you have for your country. And I hope that continues, and I hope there's a resolution to the issues that you face. We face ours here up here as well, but they're far more docile. But at the same time, I admire your honesty about the issues that you're facing. Good luck. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you.